We're good. Did you hear the news? I wrote a book. Have you picked up your copy? Go get it. Amazon will get it to you really quick. It also comes in the Kindle version. What are you waiting for? Anyone can start from scratch. Hello. On this podcast, it's my pleasure to bring you the broadcast of Starting from Scratch. I am Shelly L. Henderson, and together with my husband Phil, we have built a multi-million-dollar business from scratch at the same time that we started our family. We started our business without a loan, family money, or a plan. We had 6 months of savings and the want to. In the 20 years that we've been building our business and growing our family, we've learned valuable lessons we want to share with you. Each day has been a new day for us, whether good or bad, challenging or joyful. We want to inspire and spread joy in our corner of the world using our business platform, talking with others who want the same thing. This is Starting from Scratch. And today on Ladies Who Lunch, we have a very special guest that we brought from our Henderson Properties office. We have Vanessa Gilcreast. Hey, Vanessa.
Hi.
And let me tell you about Vanessa. Vanessa is an administrative professional with multiple years of office experience. She's currently our leasing consultant with Henderson Properties. And I'm just going to read this, what we wrote down here about your defining moment, Vanessa. It began with the transition of your husband. It was at that point that she decided no other widow will face this journey alone, using her experience to edify, encourage, and comfort other widows, no matter where they are on this journey. She believes that there is no plan B to life and that God knew this time would come and he already had a plan in place. Welcome, Vanessa.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
It's my pleasure.
I just love you.
I just love you.
Okay, so let me tell you all a little bit. Vanessa came to Henderson Properties in late 2016, and you know how when you just meet somebody for the first time, you just know you have an instant connection. And I walked into our office one day and I had not met her, and she was at our leasing desk, which is always positioned right at the front door. I said hello and I introduced myself, and I walked away and I came back and I said, I feel like I need to give you a hug. And she said, I feel like I need to take that hug. And you took my hug.
Yes.
And she has been near and dear to my heart ever since. And we have given our staff an opportunity to come and share their life stories and their business perspective on the Ladies Who Lunch, because, Vanessa, contrary to popular belief, those of us that work or are too busy for 2-hour lunches, this is my play on that. So this is our Ladies Who Lunch, because we're productive and proactive and we're trying to inspire and give joy to other people. So when I met Vanessa almost 3 years ago, I just felt this instant connection, and I don't know, I have that discernment, and so I love you. I just love you. She is so joyful, and has a zest for life regardless of her circumstances, and that's what we're going to talk to today. So let's just start with the logistics.
Okay.
Tell us in 30 seconds or less, like what you do at Henderson Properties as a leasing consultant.
As a leasing consultant, it is my job to help people who are looking for homes get the home that they most desire. And we want it to be a positive thing in their lives. We don't want that process can be very nerve-wracking when you're looking for some place and you're trying to get something of your own, especially in this market these days. So it's my job and my intent to make sure that this process goes as smoothly as possible. Find the new home that you want, get moved in, get settled.
And how complicated is that?
It can be very at times, but the thing of it is making sure that, there's so much you have to go through, your verifications of your employment and rentals and your credit and all that. And it makes it stressful, it really do, and coming up with the monies and things. So the whole thing is helping people find that process and walk them through the steps so that it's easy for them. They don't feel so stressful. And no matter what, even if you got to tell someone no, even telling them no should be in such a way that they feel like, okay, they really wanted to help me, they just couldn't.
That's right. That's right. And that's what we try to do. And consultant is such a great word for you because she consults us on so many things at the office. And she is a major go-to at our office for life questions. I've heard you have conversations about life and with our staff. And what is, besides the people, what's the best thing that you like about your job?
Besides the people? It is actually the idea of helping someone. Even if I can't help you, my job is to let you know that I would help you. And that's actually my life. I just want people to feel like, look, someone cares enough about me and my condition that they're willing to help me. Not go outside of the boundaries, but at least someone cares.
Right.
And they need to know that, everybody needs to know that someone cares.
Yes, exactly. And when we show that we care, we can also show other things. We can show God's love. We can show that people can bond regardless of their circumstances. And every day is not a great day, especially when you deal with the public, right? I mean, we have our challenges at the office because it's very hard when you're in a service industry to try to make everybody happy all of the time. And it really is or can be a stressful job when you are dealing with people and you have to give them the hard no's and the answers to a question of, I'm sorry that we cannot provide a place for you to rent at this time, and here's why. You are just that consultant and go-to person, and I know that there are things in your life that have happened to bring you on this journey, and we're going to talk about that. Vanessa has read my book, Starting from Scratch, and in talking about the book, we had a conversation a couple months ago, and she said she wanted to talk to me, and I was so afraid that she was going to quit. Don't quit. Yeah, we got things to do, Vanessa. We got a lot to do. We got a lot to learn. And she came and we sat down, and she said, well, you tell them. You tell them.
I had just finished reading chapter 7. And in my life at the time, I've always said, in 2016, I hit a major bump in this cycle. I have been a widow for several years then, and my life was just going through some changes. So I came to the mindset that life was a journey, and I might as well enjoy it. Just enjoy my journey and choose to soar in God's purpose. Well, over the months and the years, I kept hitting these bumps where things just wasn't working for me. And I really wasn't enjoying the journey. I was tolerating the journey until I read your book, chapter 7. And in order to enjoy something, you have to accept that this is part of your plan. This is part of God's plan for your life. This is part of your purpose, and it's okay. And that,
regardless of what it is.
Regardless of what it is, regardless. And that's what happened. I had to come to the conclusion to accept my journey. So as I was sitting in the office that day, and I realized, okay, Lord, I choose to accept that this journey that I'm on is one that you have chosen for me. And I had to let Shelly know. I was like, well, I don't know if she want to really know about this, but I have to let her know that chapter made a major impact upon my life. It helped me to make the decision to move forward. Because sometimes we come into life and we're on a journey, but we get in the place and we just sit still. We don't move. We get caught up in the day-to-day runnings and the hurts and the disappointments, and especially if you're losing a job or you're going through a tough time and life happens. And so you can choose to stay in the life happens, or you can get up and move. And your book, that chapter in the book, Accepting the Journey, tells us that to accept it and move on. Come on now, let's keep this flowing.
My grandmother said, time waits for no one. And it's so true, and I put that in my blog that's coming out next week, because I talk about my birthday and how time it does not sit still. So despite our circumstances or despite our age, whatever that is, whatever age you are, 25, 45, 65, it does not matter. And we are not supposed to just sit still all of the time. And it's good to rest, yes.
Yes.
And especially when you're going through a hard time, you need to rest and you need to think about things. You need to pray about things if that's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't just wallow in it. And we're going to talk more about that when we record our podcast for later, so that you can tune in about that, because that's going to be an awesome conversation. And that's so true, because you've had to adjust to a new life.
I did. It's one thing. I was married for 31 years, 11 months, and 10 days.
Do you think Phil knows how long we've been married?
And in that, I don't think they do. In the time that I was married, I had four grown children. I have 6 grandchildren, and that was my life. I was in church. I was a good admin, and now all of a sudden, my life has changed. I am I'm over 50 in that mark. I'm having to do a career change. I'm single all of a sudden, and that's a whole new ball game all by itself. All of my children are grown and left home, so now I'm facing the empty nest. And it's one thing to face an empty nest with a spouse. It's another thing to face that empty nest by yourself.
We could have a whole nother podcast on that. But you're happy with your circumstances right now.
I choose to be happy. One of the things that my husband told me as he was getting ready to make his transition, he called us all together and he gave us our instructions. My instruction was to be happy. His words to me was, Van, be happy. Whatever that looks like to you, whatever that does. And he told the children, leave her alone and let her do it. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm learning to be happy. And being happy does not mean that things don't happen. It just means that I keep it moving. Mm-hmm. And I enjoy life. I just literally enjoy life. I get pleasure out of letting everybody know that it's okay.
Yes, she does. And she'll say that. She'll say, it's okay. It's okay. All right, before we go, tell us what does happiness look like?
Happiness in anybody's life is your choice. For me, it's finding joy and peace, just being content in whatever. Accepting that this is a part of my life, accepting that the people that are in my life in this season, except people moving on. One of the things about becoming a widow is that you lose friends. That's just part of the journey. People don't go with you. People are in your life for a season and a reason. And when that season ends, let them go. And they fulfill their purpose. There's this book that says God's Invitation. It talks about how by Debbie McComb. God invites people in your life for a season and a reason, and he invites you into other people's lives for a season and see. He invited me into your life.
See? Okay, and you know what? And really, I think it should have been the Vanessa show today. I should have just been a guest.
No.
All right, what do you do for fun?
What I do for fun? I haven't figured that part out yet. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do for fun, other than reading and spending time with my grandkids, and going to church, and you can have fun at church.
See, yes, you can.
I have a friend that takes me some places every now and then. It's just being with people makes me happy. So I'm content with that right now.
And what do you think that? How do you think the Henderson Properties culture and the family has helped you?
It's given me a reason to get up every morning. I have this thing that I do for the people at work that's called For Your Eyes Only. And so it gives me a reason to pay attention to people. And so, like I sent you one to let you know that what you're doing in my life. And it's a positive thing. It's just something to let people know that, hey, somebody paying attention to you. Mm-hmm. Somebody cares. It gives me another whole group of people. And I'm just going to say this to mother. Because at my age, I'm everybody's mother. I call everybody sugar, everybody honey. I'm everybody's mom.
I told y'all I love her so much.
So my job is to mother everybody. And Henderson Properties has given me a reason to mother people. It really has extended my now that my own children are grown and don't want me to mother them.
And you know what? Isn't that so important? I think, and again, at any age, but mostly, I think at our season in life, we just want to feel needed.
Yes.
And we want to feel wanted. And that's what led me to do what I'm doing with the book and with things at work is I just wanted to create some reasons to be needed and spread joy and positivity to everybody else, because how many people do you think, especially women, because that's what we're talking about today, are going through the same thing? There's probably so many, and maybe they're not talking about it.
They don't, because most of the time you feel, why am I here? And is this where, and you feel so alone in the midst of it. But I think that what women need to know, especially women our ages, that you're not by yourself.
Right.
You really are not by yourself.
And you know, for so long, I think, and you know, women, we want to be portrayed as strong people. But at the end of the day, fun fact, men don't really need the community that women need. And I speak only because I have a husband and 2 boys. And I see that, you know, my husband is content with working, going to his business meetings, and being with his family. But I feel like women for generations we have needed that community to share and build one another up and, you know, inspire one another.
We as, but you got to look at it, for the most part, our lives are built around people, around our children, and around the communities that surround our children. So all of a sudden, if our children are now adults, even the people that were in our lives with them are now gone.
That's right.
And so what are we supposed to do? Okay, who am I supposed to talk to now?
And listen, it all comes, and if you're watching out there, I promise you, if you have school-age children, I'm going to tell you the truth. Enjoy it. Try not to get too frustrated, because when it stops, it stops. And it comes to a screeching halt. And that is what I found most challenging to deal with. Okay, listen, we are going to go, but you are amazing.
You are amazing.
You are amazing. All right, Vanessa read Starting from Scratch. It's your turn. See what chapter you like. Follow us. Vanessa's on Instagram. What's your
Mrs.
handle?
ECG.
Mrs. ECG. Follow Vanessa for inspiration. You can follow me, Shelly L. Henderson, on Instagram or Facebook. Check out Henderson Properties social media at Henderson Properties, and make it a great day. But we're going to go so we can record more for the podcast that you'll enjoy listening to. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.